to the family. Peace to my comrades. And it's always smoke to the COINTELPRO boxing fan. Family, I just got some news that Terrance Bud Crawford was held at gunpoint at 1:30 a.m. September 28th. So I want to pull up a direct article, give the family some time to come in real quick. Because I couldn't let this go by without saying something. We have a bunch of reliable sources. We have CBS Sports. CBS Sports says Terence Crawford held at gunpoint during traffic stop. Omaha police mayor pledge internal investigation. Sports Illustrated. Footage of Terence Crawford gunpoint. Footage of Terence Crawford gunpoint. Police stop circulates as Omaha mayor responds. Terrance Crawford was at the center of an exchange with police in Omaha, Nebraska on September 28th. Undisputed super middleweight champion Terrance Crawford was on the recipient of a victory parade in his hometown, Omaha, Nebraska. On September 28th, which was the result of his upset victory over Canelo Alvarez earlier this month. The parade itself was a wonderful affair, and Crawford received his well-deserved flowers from his peers, his coaching staff, and many other members of the boxing community. When Crawford was addressing the media at one point on Saturday, he made it clear that he intended to go out and party that night to revel in his massive victory. However, it now seems that Crawford's Saturday night went awry and had a tense exchange with police. On Sunday morning, a video posted by Facebook user Dre Jimmy started making waves as it allegedly showed Crawford at the wheel of a car having a tense exchange with a police officer. The police officer can be seen holding a gun and pointing it at Crawford and beckoning the champion to get out of the car. Crawford yelled, "I'm not reaching for no gun, bro," before stepping out of the car. The video has now begun to go viral on social media. So I want people to know that this is not clickbait. I'm reading reliable sources, CBS Sports, Sports Illustrated. And what I don't understand is, number one, when you have a celebrity or you have an athlete, whether they just won the Super Bowl, whether it's a boxing champion, whether they just won a gold medal in the Olympics, when they come back and do a parade and somebody who's in law enforcement, you know exactly what the hell is going on in the city. You know that people are honoring this individual. Salute, Sheldon LDBC or Nothing Reloaded in the house. You know good and well who is there. You know who's in the house, and you know why. I was law enforcement back in the day. You cannot tell me that that officer did not know that that was Bud Crawford and his team. Let's look at some more. We got Sports Illustrated. We have TMZ. Let's see what TMZ says. Let's go down to TMZ and see what they're saying. Let's see what TMZ is saying. TMZ. Terrance Crawford ordered out of a car by cop holding a gun on video. Terrance Crawford. The officer repeatedly tells Crawford to step out, and he replies at one point, this is Terrance talking to the officer, "I ain't reaching for no gun," with his hands up the whole time. Crawford was then patted down by the officer before the clip comes to an end. The Omaha Police Department released a statement Sunday morning explaining the city's mayor and chief of police are ordering a review of the traffic stop, but by internal affairs. Now, my question is, family, because in the video you can hear Bud telling the officer, "I ain't got no gun. I ain't got no gun." All right, now if that officer would have taken the life of this man, and some of you might say, "Oh, coach, you're overreacting." Some of you all don't know what the hell you're talking about. Because anyone who has been in situations like that, anyone who has served in law enforcement before, you know how quick, especially when we're talking about weapons being drawn and weapons present, how quick life can be ended. Don Vaughn said, "Salute, brother. Coach Malachi was with Bud. He broke it on his live 3 hours ago. Disgusting. Pure disgusting. You cannot tell me that officer did not know that their moves, that this officer did not know that this was Bud Crawford and his team coming from wherever they were coming from, because all of us know, any of us who have worked in a city before, any of us who have worked in the military, have done security, have been in law enforcement, you know good and well where the people are, where they're going when giants come back to the city to celebrate them. This officer was pissed off about something. His ego got the best of him, and he already had in mind the BS he was about to pull. Now check it out, family. For those of you that don't know, salute Joseph Townsend. For those of you that don't know, one of the cops was a Russian woman. Wow. For those of you that don't know, the stop happened at 1:30 a.m. Right? Now follow me, family. How many shifts do officers have? They have 3 or 4. It don't matter where you are in this country. Every police department has either 3 or 4 shifts. Okay? Now, if he stopped Bud Crawford 1:30 a.m., that means that officer came in on the 11 p.m. shift, or he was working overtime. Either way, you get briefed by your watch commander. Now let's talk about it. For you know it alls real quick. Let's talk about it. And every single person that has done law enforcement, or you've done some type of security force, or you've been in the military, you know before you go out onto your mission, before you go out onto your watch, before you go out into those streets, you get a what? You get a briefing. Now, you mean to tell me that this man was not briefed? That this officer was not briefed about what was going on in the city? Family, this wasn't a week later. This wasn't days later. This is literally, we might as well say, the same day. They didn't go back home yet. And this is why I rip brothers to shreds who try to tell me that you need to be aware of what the hell is going on around you. When I say we need to protect this brother, you need to protect each other. Watch how you move. Defend each other. Oh, coach, man, it ain't that serious. Listen, family, this article could easily be saying something else today. This article could easily be saying officer mistakenly shoots boxing champion. Officer mistakenly takes the life of boxing champion. Do you all not understand that when he had the weapon drawn on him, and Bud steps out, and Bud yells, I ain't drawing no gun. My hand ain't on no gun." Do you know how many times I've seen people's lives be taken in just like that? But some of you are gonna say, "Well, no, coach, that ain't got nothing to do with it. It's just boxing." Ugh, disgusting. Disgusting. And I was going to try to leave this alone. CBS Sports, TMZ, Terrance is an undefeated boxing champion. He holds a 42-0 across his illustrious career, who is currently the undisputed welterweight and super middleweight champion. They say we reached out to Terrance Crawford, but he declined comment. Now, family, check this out. I want you all to think about this. Now, I'm going to show you all why nobody can sit up here and say, well, they were just ignorant to what was going on. Now, check this out, family. When I was a young man, they had a rally in D.C., and it was called Justice or Else. And I saw the Nation of Islam hold security from the outskirts of D.C. on every subway train going into D.C. And then when you got into D.C., they were pulling security then. Now, this is what I know. What I know is all of those brothers were briefed on everything that was going on that was moving. Now, you can't tell me that a police department is not briefing all of their officers. So let me say this. This is not on the full department, but this right here is on the culture of things that should be checked that are not checked, number one. And let me say this to y'all. This is what I learned from my experience. My experience when I got out the military and went straight to the sheriff's office because I needed a job quick to take care of my family. This is what I learned. Officers like that, they are the ones that get good officers hurt. Let me repeat it again. It's officers like that get good officers in the community hurt, because what happens is the idiot always runs unto the good guys, and for whatever reason, the idiots on the forces always run into good civilians. It's on a rare occasion that you see a crazy civilian run into the bad cop, because usually somebody gonna get hurt right off the bat. But it's officers like that already got in their mind, man, I don't give a damn who he think he is. I don't give a damn who he think he is. I'm about to pull this thing over. Now check it out. You already know. We honoring this man in the city. Thousands come to the city. Thousands come to spend their money. Of course, the people in the car in his party are going to have weapons. So I would expect them to have it. Now, you remember when Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. got into it, and y'all were like, oh man, his security doing too much. His security. That's what he's supposed to do. Yeah, that's what he's supposed to do. Because as soon as you overreact, as soon as you make the wrong move and you're in these positions, how quick can you go from on top of the world to down here? On top of the world to down here. Get out the car. Get out the car. Hey, man, I ain't got no gun. I ain't got no weapon. You hear Crawford saying it out loud. Hey, man, I ain't got no weapon. My hands is here. That officer, he wanted every reason to teach him a lesson, to let him know I got the power in this situation. I know we've been honoring you all weekend, but I'm the man right here. Now, some people are going to say, well, coach, and so y'all can't tell me shit. Because anything you think you know, I done already did. Military, you can't tell me nothing. Law enforcement, you can't tell me nothing. I did it already. Boxing coach, you can't tell me nothing. I did it already. National champion under my belt. You can't tell me. So this ain't a time for me to hear what the hell you think. I'm talking. What I'm trying to tell you all is, if he walked up to that car and really felt that his life was in danger, you know what officers do? Let me point it out to y'all, family. When I was in the prison and I felt like it was something more than I could handle, you know what I did? I stepped out the red zone. I closed the door. And I would get on all available officers to 6 North. All available officers to 6 South. I need all available officers in the facility to meet me at blank, blank, blank. If you're on the street, it's the same way. I have multiple people in the vehicle and you call for backup. Salute to the village brother. Salute Queen Tay. This wasn't about that officer really feeling like he was in danger, because if he really felt like he was in danger, he would have known what to do. It's under his policies and procedures taught. One of the first things he's taught: how to escalate, how to de-escalate. So you all can miss me. Don Vaughn said, I heard one of the officers shook his head knowing they messed up and he didn't stop the aggressive officer. See, let me tell y'all something, family. And let me tell y'all something that's in law enforcement. You see your boy doing something wrong, you better do something. You better say something. Because you can get pulled into that crap just because your name is going to be in the report. And now your benefits is on the line. Your career is on the line. So this is what is supposed to happen. Officer sees danger. He sees 4 people in the vehicle and he thinks there's a weapon. Okay, I don't know how many weapons are in here. I hear one guy saying, hey, we're licensed to carry. I hear the champ saying, hey, I don't have my hand on a weapon. Let me step back. First thing we're going to do is we're going to get backup. We're going to get backup. I need all of whatever, every state has different codes, but I would put the code out. I need available officers. I have armed civilians that I need help searching. It's that simple. Just like when you work in the prison. It's just like when you work in the prison. The only difference in the prison is you really got to be about that because you ain't got no gun. And them dudes, especially if they high off of something, they can eat that taser and that spray for nothing. You can't tell coach about some shit I done did. So if it's something I can't handle, hey, let me step out for a second. Worst case scenario is somebody jumps on me before I can step out and get help. I've been in them situations. And unfortunately, you have to do things drastically to get out of those situations, which is why you move carefully. Because even on the street, once shots start getting fired, hey man, you can't take nothing back. It's on now. Everybody got to get down or lay down at that point in time. So if it was, because this is what's about to happen. I'm going to tell you what's about to happen. The mayor and the chief of police has said, you know what? This is not a good look. You know, we brought Bud Crawford here to honor him. He represented Omaha, Nebraska in this fashion. There will be an investigation. And this is what's going to be said. The officer was just doing his job for his safety. Okay. Think about this, family. I want you all to use your critical thinking skills for a second. Salute our brother Drew Titan is in the house. Black Martial Arts Society is in the house. The Dirt Game Boss is in the house. The Dirt Game Boss said, Bud said, can I move? My phone is all no resistance. And let me tell you, brothers, something. And anybody, if you're dealing with an officer and you feel like you are in danger, don't try to win that argument there. Do not try to hold court on the street. This is a teachable moment for everyone. Listen to me, y'all. I don't care if you black, white, yellow, or green. If you are dealing with an officer like that who is on a trip or who is scared, now let me teach y'all about this. There are some officers who have been working the street for years and they've never been in a combat situation, especially if they're working a little town. The the combat readiness of a police officer that maybe works a high crime area is going to be a lot different from an officer who works a slow town. All right, follow me. The reflexes are different. Your battle readiness is different. All right, being able to do a risk assessment and assess real danger is different. All right, there are some officers who are actually terrified, right? And that is the moment where you might lose your life. Don't try to sit there and win. Salute Queen Shaquilla Fields. Don't sit there and try to hold court. Do not move. You heard somebody in the car say to Bud, man, I'm not moving. I'm keeping my hands up. Because you see the officer. Let me tell y'all something. If you ever see an officer draw his weapon and his hands are shaking, don't move. Do not move. When you get pulled over, which I did not see, which I would have liked to see, this is why I keep telling y'all, no matter how famous you are, you need to have real security with you, because most security is either prior law enforcement, prior military, or prior convict. All right. Them three know what to do. All right. Turn the lights on. Your hands are up. So when the officer walks up, they can see, all right, I see there are weapons in the vehicle. I need everyone to keep their hands up until backup gets here. I'm going to step back to my vehicle. I'm going to shine my light just so I can see that you all are not moving. This is how you de-escalate a situation. And if you're really in fear for your life. So when the officers get there, they say, hey, all right, we need everybody to step out the vehicle. We understand everyone is licensed to carry. Cool. We have to check. We have to check that out. Right? We have to check that out for our safety and just legal reasons. We have to make sure that y'all are saying what it is. But look, we want to let y'all know it's all good. We're going to check. We know we're celebrating you, champ. Hey, we love what you did. This is how you build community relationships between the police and the civilian. But that right there was not somebody trying to do community police work. He was in his ego or he was scared. Either one, he's not even the one that should have been handling the champ. You knew that was Bud Crawford when you walked up to that car. You knew that was, and if you didn't, when you start talking to him, you can't tell me you ain't been seeing the man's face posted up all over the city all weekend. I'm sorry, y'all. You all cannot get me with this. He just didn't know. It was just a lack of understanding. I guarantee y'all, at their watch, the watch commander said, now you all know we have Bud Crawford in the city. We have a lot of visitors in the city celebrating Bud Crawford. Now, let's say in the watch, let's say you didn't know. You didn't know who the hell Bud Crawford was. Before you left that room, you would have asked somebody, hey, man, who's Bud Crawford? Oh, man, look, this dude, this Bud Crawford, he beat Canelo. So y'all can miss me with the he didn't know. I'm not giving that. The brother Drew Titan said, windows down, hands when they can be seen, key out of the ignition and on the top of the car. One person dialoguing with the officers. Everybody else shut up. The cop was out of line. Ego. That was a straight ego trip, and he wasn't scared. Because if he was, he would have stuck to his policies and procedures. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something, family. There's certain codes you can say to an officer to let them know you know something. If there's certain things you say, and this ain't about holding court, It's just something you can say while you're holding your hands and you letting them know, hey man, you got the power right here. I ain't trying to hold court, but listen, officers, stick to your policies and procedures. Now, when you say that, they're gonna know either you are former law enforcement, either you got somebody in your family law enforcement, you know something. So that's gonna ding ring something in their head, like, all right, I'm gonna do my job, but I ain't gonna take it past that. I'm gonna do my job, but I'm gonna take it past that. Because guess what, family? If it comes out, because officers do lie, because it ain't always about what you can prove, it's about what's in that report. All right? It's about what you can prove. You see, let me show you. This is what I mean. If I write down, hey man, I punched Mr. Johnson in the face because I felt threatened, that's not a good look. But if I say, after giving Mr. Johnson a direct lawful order several times, Mr. Johnson proceeded to move towards me in a threatening manner with his fist balled up. At that time, I, Coach Hudson, hit him with two open hand palm strikes to his forehead and nose on September 28th, 1:30 a.m. That look a whole lot different, sound a whole lot different. It paints a whole different picture of what the hell was going on. Now, what you got to understand, family, is that's an officer writing that report. And officers that do it again and again and again, you get very familiar on writing these reports. See, family, what you don't know is Coach Hudson's not a big guy, and I worked in a prison. I had a lot. I forgot how many, but it's called a use of force form. Coach Hudson has an unlimited amount of use of force forms. And my use of force is usually was not, let me put it like this. Out of the 3 years I worked at the prison, I used my taser only twice, and I never used my spray. Everything else was hand to hand. So I know how to write them very good. And I know officers on the street that know how to write them very good. So what you don't want that officer saying, you don't want to paint a picture where it looks like, all right, what officer was justified for blank, 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 blank. So according to TMZ, according to CBS Sports, they're all saying that, okay, there was some reckless driving going on. Let me tell y'all this. If it is not proven, and I'll see y'all in the chat, I'm going to read your chats in a minute. If it is not proven that was a lawful stop, that's somebody's ass. And that's why I keep telling y'all. And I'm going to get, this Don Vaughn said the officer had hate in his heart. Facts. He gets no pass. Facts. And he needs to be dealt with. Because any champion that comes from Omaha, Nebraska, I wouldn't do a damn thing else there. Because that is going to leave a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. The Dirt Gang boss said impossible not to know there are murals of him around the city. Dirt Gang boss, not only that, I guarantee you, y'all listen to me. This is what I know. It's some things that I tell y'all that I know. I ain't speaking on my opinion. This is what I know. Every police department has a conversation during watch command. They have a powwow. They have a huddle. They have a small little group that comes together, and the leadership gives them their marching orders. They let them know, hey, y'all, this was going on in the city. They let them know what had happened the watch before them, so that you might not walk into something and you don't. Example, if you work if you work 7 to 3 shift, all right, you come in the 3 shift, you need to know about the riot that happened between 7 to 3. Y'all understand? So when the man came in to the watch, I know they had a detailed, very descriptive briefing on what the hell's going on in the city. Now, I don't care what's going on in the city. You don't let nobody run your city. Don't get me wrong about that. Okay? But at the same time, don't do more than you usually would, brother. If you pulling this man over, handle that right. Cause you know exactly. Forget it just being a regular civilian. Cause you should handle everybody right anyway. But see, you want to get up there and act like you don't know what's going on. Salute. Let me read because I'm going. The Dirt Game Boss said they said the lieutenant was there. Now that changed some things. That changed some things. If their watch commander was there, when the first responding officer was handling those brothers the way he was, if that is true, another conversation is really going to need to be had. I wouldn't bring another event. Y'all hear me? I wouldn't bring another event to Omaha. Drew Titan said, there is lingo that only some understand. Facts. Trill, Will, LDBC, or nothing in the house. Salute, family. It's called articulation. Facts. Every bit of law enforcement was informed during roll call. Let's read that again. Drew Titan said every bit of law enforcement was informed during roll call. That is a fact. Allen Iverson should have been arrested a million times when he was in Philly, but the police were ordered to extend a lot of courtesy to him where they wouldn't for anyone else. Now, some of you might say, well, why do they need courtesy? I'm going to tell you why. The same courtesy these drunk out-of-towners get when there's a baseball game. That courtesy. The same courtesy these soccer fans get when there's a big soccer game going on, a tennis game going on. That courtesy. See, don't y'all act stupid and act like you don't understand that officers do give courtesy, especially when a big event is going on. How many times have you all seen a football game going on, drunk folks in the street? They shouldn't be. That is illegal, y'all. But the officers say, all right, man, y'all, hey, get them. Get them. Get them home before I have to, hey, get them. You get courtesy because what's going on. Because if they don't, and you start arresting everybody after all these events, people are not going to want to come out and spend money. These are things that keep the tax dollars rolling. You all understand? Salute Anwar Willis in the house. Salute, family. So this is my thing. Drew Titan said, only time you see white people in the Bronx is during a Yankee game. They be drunk as shit. Drew ain't say that, but I'm saying that. They be drunk, and we used to be ordered just to allow them to get on the 4 train so they can leave the area. Now, all of us grown men who have been to a game, who have seen people get into fist fights, it get broke up, and people go on home. Don't get me started on hockey. Do not get me started on hockey. I Am True Man said the mayor of New York did the same when the Knicks were winning in the playoffs this year. So I'm glad we all can agree in the chat that this courtesy that officers know about is a real thing. And family, shout out to YouTube for letting my notifications go out this time. We gonna do right. I'm gonna try. But I am deeply disturbed by this. Don Vaughn said, if anything, they should have escorted Bud to safety for him being a major community and public figure. Now, let me talk about that for a second. Brothers and sisters, we have to start protecting our people better. Number one, what do I keep saying? Every time something like this happens, I get on here. What's the first thing I say to y'all? Why was that person driving? What was the last situation somebody was driving and I was like, how many times have there been an event, some after the event, and I'm like, yo, why is this person driving? All right, something popped off. Why are they driving? All of this stuff is because of them. Why are they driving? Think about this, family. How many times have you all seen a great public speaker come to your city around a huge event and then hear about them driving somewhere and getting in trouble? Even when Minister Farrakhan was young and had houses in Chicago and all that, he did not drive himself after events or during the weekend of their event. He was protected. There's so many examples, but for some reason, our fighters, man, they always get into stuff in these cars or on a motorcycle. How many fighters have we lost to a motorcycle incident? How many fighters' careers have been ruined, slowed down because of tragic car accidents? They are the bag. They are the one bringing in millions. They are the one bringing in thousands. So why are they driving? Family, I remember there were some threats going out to Clarissa Shields when she first got, thank you, Drew Titan, rest in peace, Diego Corrales. Paul Williams, put in the wheelchair. There gets to a level, family, I just feel, for instance, family, when my fighters were fighting and we had an event, even if it was just a cookout at another person's gym, my fighters did not drive. And if anything happened, guess what? This goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Guess what I have with my fighters? Coach has a briefing with them. I have a briefing with my fighters, young men, and I say, listen, fellas, if anything happens, we meet here. I am the driver. No matter what, don't look for me. If anything happens and for whatever reason we can't get to the vehicle, we can't get to the car, these are the other two places we're going to meet at. We already got our plan together. We know who's doing what. We've already prepared for if we get pulled over, all of that. And 9 times out of 10, if we leave the city, I already have a off-duty officer with me. Because you have to be able to protect yourself. And sometimes you got to have somebody with you that can speak the language. Because a lot of times especially when you're dealing with young street cops who just got on the force, especially those who have never been in a fight in their life, who might be scared themselves, they feel like they got something to prove. We have to do a better job of protecting each other. That's why when y'all got mad about Devin Haney's security guard doing his job, I said, shit, that's what he's supposed to do. He ain't supposed to let nobody put their hands on Dev. And ain't nobody get touched until they touch Dev. You can get in your feelings all you want. And I'll say the same thing about anybody else. If somebody put their hands on Norman Jr., I hope Norman Jr. do got security that keeps him from getting sued. I do hope he has security that yokes somebody up the same way. That brother was strong. That brother was penitentiary strong. Like they was trying to break his. That's another, yeah. That was crazy. But yeah. And I was gonna leave this alone, family, but I gotta say this. What popped into my head was if that officer would have mistakenly discharged his weapon. If that officer would have mistakenly discharged his weapon and we all woke up this morning hearing that we lost Bud Crawford over something so stupid. So those of you brothers, now to the community, to all the races and creeds that support me, I'm about to talk to my people for a second, so y'all just sit tight. I'm about to talk to my brothers and sisters from my tribe for a second. The last black delegation meeting we had concerning Bud Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, I told you all need to get your minds right. You need to stop being afraid to be on code and root for your own man. Now, You all tried to tell me that I needed to take that out of boxing. Well, who just got reminded that he's a black man? Who just got reminded that he doesn't get the courtesy of everybody else? And he's on top of the world. Terrance Bud Crawford just got reminded of that. See? I keep speaking about these wake-up calls. And you all keep acting like I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Y'all keep acting like, man, coaches be tripping. Coach paranoid. Coach is a black schizophrenic. No, it ain't none of that. I'm trying to tell you I know what the hell I'm talking about. Even what did Denzel say on that interview? He said, at your highest moments, look out, because that's when the devil's coming. He said, look out for the enemy at your highest moments, because that's when the enemy is coming. Please like, subscribe, and share the video, family. Because I had a live notification go out in a minute. But hey, YouTube did it on the right day, didn't they? YouTube did it on the right day, didn't it? Drew Titan said, and this was the other side I was talking about, because Bud doesn't with us black fans, but I've been quiet during his entire little run. And shout out to my brother Drew Titan, because y'all already know. Patrice X30 said you called it. Said they be mad because we're celebrating. Patrice X, man, shout out to my brother Patrice X for reminding me of what I said, because I forgot I said that. Y'all remember when I told y'all after he beat Canelo, watch out. I told everybody. I told everybody, and you said I was crazy. I told everybody. All other races and creeds, y'all just bear witness for a second. I'm talking to my brothers, because we act a little crazy sometimes. I told you niggas at the last family reunion, when we beat Canelo Alvarez and all the things they've been saying, you all be careful. Stay alert, stay alive. Because after we win, there are people that's going to be upset with celebrating. They're going to be looking bitter in the face the way Dana White and Max Kellerman was looking like they bet their whole house on Canelo after the fight. So that's what that was about. That's what that stop was about. What you so happy for, nigga? Good. Nigga. I ain't trying to get shadow banned again. What you so happy about? What are you celebrating? Yeah, I know the mayor gave you the key to the city, but we run this. We run this. See? Bud. He had to get his wake-up call. See, it don't matter. See, now watch this. Let me read these comments real quick. Now watch this. Dirt Game Boss said, you told us someone got to pay for Canelo losing. God dang it. Boy, I got to start writing down the stuff I say. I did say that. I said someone got to pay for Canelo losing. Somebody got to pay. I told y'all there would be consequences. Now, we almost woke up this morning to hearing accidental discharge during traffic stop of American champion Bud Crawford. But y'all want to sit up here and tell me, Coach, man, hey, man, you don't know what you... See, y'all better get on y'all P's and Q's and wake the hell up with what's going on around here. The history ain't changed. When Jack Johnson was doing his thing, what happened when we were celebrating? When Joe Louis went to Nazi Germany and beat Max Schmeling, there was a price that had to be paid. When Ali refused to take orders from the mob and the NOI told the mob, you better not touch him, there was a price to pay. And see, some of y'all have gotten so comfortable. You have assimilated and forgot where you are. There's a story in mythology. I forget the name of the story. I know somebody in the chat gonna get it. There were a group of warriors climbing up a mountain, and they ran into these temptress, and the temptress brought them in and gave them wine and gave them pork and made them comfortable. And what they didn't realize is these witches were making them weak. These witches were making them soft and making them deviate from their straight path, making them deviate to where they needed to go. That's what some of you brothers are in. Some of you men, period, in society. You have decided to be weak. You have decided that things are so comfortable now, I don't have to be on my P's and Q's. Thank you, Patrice X. The story of Odysseus. You have decided that I don't have to worry about preparing to protect my women and children and my family if the grid goes down. You have decided that I don't need things in my life to be able to use to protect my family if somebody runs into my house right now. And some of you brothers in my tribe, you have decided to be weak and compromising. But let me tell y'all something about you for a second. Look how people do their own that they hate. And you think that you have a seat at their table? The ones that do hate, they hate each other. And they just showed you a few weeks ago when they disagree with their own enough, what they'll do to them. And you think you sitting up here assimilating with them is going to give you a seat. This is why when the parade began and they were playing Desperado again, I was like, all right, bud. All right, man. That's okay, bro. We get it. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough, damn it. Don Vaughn said, I had the pleasure of meeting Muhammad Ali twice. Same person on camera as he was off camera. Real man. Facts. The greatest. The dirt game boss. That time, old saying, no matter how far we get, we got to know our place, BS. Facts. We need to wake up. We need to wake up. Some of you men, wake up. Now back to everybody else and all the other tribes. It's for everybody. They have a mission to make an example. See? That's exactly what that was about. They tried to buck break him. They tried to make him bend the knee. That wasn't nothing but, all right, bud, know your place, though. Know your place. You driving a little crazy right now. Know your place. I know you celebrate. I know you just got the key to the city. But I'm going to put these cuffs on you. You going to be detained for a second. And there ain't nothing you can do about it right now. Huh? There ain't nothing you can do about it right now. And everybody better watch their temperament around this thing. Because my finger feeling itchy anyway. And family, understand, this is going on with cameras. Imagine what was going on when there wasn't no cameras. When they knew, nobody gonna know about what we doing right now. Now, family, let me ask y'all something. What would the headlines be reading this morning if there wasn't no cameras around? Y'all better wake up. Manda Mansa Musa said, we are not slaves. We are behind enemy lines. We are prisoners of war. That's why we can't leave America without permission, and we're dealing with hate because of our skin color. Don't forget our natural enemy. The Village Brother said, wow, Don Vaughn, you are extremely blessed, brother. Patrice X Facts, Black Martial Arts Society. Ain't nothing he gonna win the flames of hell consume him. Y'all better wake up. So I'm happy. I'm glad that all the brothers made it out of that stop safe and sound. I'm so happy, so ecstatic that nobody lost their life. But don't any of y'all be confused. I don't care what they come out and tell y'all. Me, other people who are prior service in this chat have told you how that should have been handled. We've gone over the courtesies that all people get when all of these events go on in all of these towns. So whatever they try to come when they do this press conference in the next few days, because who's running? Who is running to bring money to Omaha, Nebraska? Y'all think this is a good look for y'all? You think this is a good look for you right now? Hell no. Salute the Sensei Stormy B man in the house. This ain't no damn good look. So miss me. Whatever excuse they're about to come up with, family, use this up here. Brothers, protect yourselves better. All of you up and coming fighters, all of you men out in the street doing things, all of you protecting your families. Listen, you need to be on your P's and Q's. This is not the time for weak, spineless men to be walking around here. Now, this for all the tribes. You listen to me for a second. Before I get off of here, let me tell y'all something. Whether you a black man, white man, brown man, yellow man, if you think for any second that things are so comfortable in this world where you don't have to acknowledge there is real threats out here, and you think that if you just bend the knee and you just compromise and you just put on other fighters' nationality colors and you represent tribes that you don't belong to, so you can seem non-threatening, so you can seem like you're a good one of them, it ain't never gonna work. Be yourself and stand on your square. The world will respect you more. The world will respect you more. But you fighters and the brothers who love the sport of boxing, who I got to war against, when I hear the remnants of Samboism, and I feel that thorn in my side, and I have to speak against and rebuke it for a second. You brothers need to wake up. Because all of you brothers who constantly think that it ain't what it is, imagine. I just want you to close your eyes and imagine that article reading. 3-time undisputed, 5-weight division champion, the fighting pride of Omaha, Nebraska, Terrance "Bud" Crawford, in accidental shooting with police officer during the celebration of his birthday and victory over Canelo Alvarez. I want you all to think about that. And the next time you are gang banging on each other for these fighters, the next time you come to me and you say, Coach, keep race out of it, keep tribalism out of it, the next time, I want you to think about this first. Family, I appreciate every single one of you. I have to give a huge shout out to my brother, Patrice X, who has helped me on this technology journey from the jump. I want to give a shout out to all my supporters. Got to give a shout out to my brother, Drew Titan, who is the reason I started the channel. Got to give a shout out to the family. Patrice X, Mana Mansa Musa, Joseph Townsend, people that support me every time I go live. Of course, my brother Trill Will, LDBC or nothing, who don't play no games. The Dirt Game boss, Don Bond, salute. Andrew 100, always supporting Coach. The Queen, Shaquilla Fields. And I didn't see it today, but shout out to Dr. Fields as well, Cameron Fields. And for those of you brothers that need to get your mind right, y'all need to go check her channel out, because she talks about that DSM-5 book very well and can tell you what you might be struggling with. But shout out to everybody. If I missed anybody, Isaiah W., the Village Brothers, salute to all of y'all. All right? Sheldon, LDBC or Nothing Reloaded, always supporting the brother. But I just want you all to think about that, family. And before we go into the next week of all of this foolishness that's going on, family, think about all the minuscule crap that we've been bickering about. And I understand it's a sport, it's going to happen. But imagine if the period of this week was we didn't have our champ Bud Crawford anymore. Think about that. I think the Queen Sugar Free Mars is on now. Let's go support that sister. Peace to the chat. Peace to the family. Salute to the family. Salute to my comrades. And it's always smoke to the COINTELPRO